Hey, this is Tina Lorenz. I'm your freelance copywriting mentor, mindset shifter, and transformational business coach. And today I'm coming to you live from the mobile office. This is just a little part of it, but as you can see over my shoulder, that's where my iMac is set up. This is where I work when we're on the road. We have roof is covered with solar panels. We have a 12,000 kilowatt generator, and it's just everything that I possibly need to be able to travel and work from anywhere. So today I want to do something completely different, and I have a great idea for you, so I hope that you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to start answering questions that are coming in about various things about how I work and how we travel and all of those things, and I'm going to tell you at the end of this how you can submit your question so that I can answer it on a Facebook Live. You might be hearing this on my podcast, The Tina Lorenz Show, because I'm also using the content from these Facebook Lives for that podcast so that you can hear what I'm talking about. So right now I'm standing in the mobile office. It's 45 feet long. It's built on a Freightliner heavy-duty truck chassis. So yes, it looks like a semi. And yes, I do all the driving. My husband's legally blind, and so when we travel, it's me. And I have the little joke is that I actually have a commercial driver's license. So it's sort of like, if this marketing gig doesn't work out, I can always drive truck, right? So we tow a 4-door Jeep Rubicon behind it. Normal times, shall we say, previous to 2020, I run a very regular basis. I drive this cross country, driven up into Canada, all over the United States, and been doing this lifestyle, living like this, part-time and full-time, depending on when it was, but doing this since a long time. I don't know, probably about 20 years. I can't imagine not having some kind of an RV in our life. I've had several other renditions of a mobile office. This is the most elaborate. When we got this, we completely gutted it. Went to Indiana, where it's built, in Bristol, Indiana. It's called a Renegade. Seems appropriate somehow. And we had it completely gutted, roof taken off. I have all kinds of pictures. I'll have to share them sometime on my Facebook page, but of the whole thing just absolutely down to the studs, so to speak, the wires everywhere, and completely rebuilt it the way I wanted it for my mobile office. And so the reason I'm doing this from here today is because I have a question. And so I'm going to read it because I don't want to miss any aspect of this question. So just bear with me for a minute while I read this to you. This comes from Angelina. And after one of my recent Facebook Lives, she sent me this question. She said, I just watched your small RV video and wondered if that's how you're living. On the road, in the RV, free of clocking into a job. That's my dream. I've been a preschool teacher and an administrative assistant the last 37 years, and it was quite all right. When COVID hit, I lost my job and felt like we needed a change. I want to move from Kansas back to the West, and I'm going to skip over part of this because it's a little more personal, but she said that she has a plan. She wants to work remotely and live in an RV. You say it's possible. I've seen others doing it. However, how do you make that leap to actually be able to make a living and still save for retirement? How do I convert what I've been doing into remote work? I have heard of selling on Amazon, freelance writing, blogging, and copywriting, but I don't seem to know how to do any of that. And at my age, 52, I feel a bit scared of trying something new. Any tips? Thank you, Angelina. Thank you, Angelina, for sending in your question. I'm just going to lay it down right over here. Let me see if I can remember all the questions in there, but I wanted to show you that, yes, it is entirely possible. That's the first thing. And so the other thing I want to talk about is, well, how do you do this? Well, there's a lot of the technical aspects, the support aspects. We have mobile internet. We have a roof covered with solar panels. All 45 feet of this rig is covered with solar panels. We have internet for, we have satellite television. We have my iMac. This is the travel iMac set up. It's permanently mounted. We can take it back off, but my very creative husband figured out a way. I had to look the other way when he drilled a hole in the base of the iMac, but he figured out a whole way to bolt this to the desk, and we can unbolt it when we want to, but the desk has a flip up. I have my desk chair. We have a custom built electric recliner over here. Let's see if I can turn you over here. There's the kitchen. There's the TV's up. There's Angelina's note. And oh my goodness, I don't think I can do this, but down below there's a fireplace that helps heat. We have heated porcelain tile floors. We have house-size shower. I'm not going to show you all that today, but we have a house-size shower. We have, let's see, beautiful sinks, right? Vessel sinks. We have a kitchen-type faucets and sink in the kitchen here. We have induction cooktop stove. We have a refrigerator freezer. We're going to be installing a washer and dryer. We decided we're going to add that, a regular washer and dryer. We have everything we need, and we can tow the Jeep behind this. And well, let me just, here we go. We're going to spin around. I don't have my little microphone here, so I got to take you with me on the tripod, but that's where I drive from. There's my 747 looking dashboard. Looks like we're ready for takeoff. It's 12 speed, automatic, built on a Mercedes chassis, 450 horsepower, 30,000 pound towing capacity, really big tires, truck tires. And I forgot how many it has. It's something like 12, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. Has a lot of tires. Anyway, this is how we travel now. But when I first started, we were in a much older RV called a fifth wheel with an older Dodge truck. That's how we began. So Angelina, it's absolute, and she asked me about the small RV. That's the spare. So you've heard the kind of joke, the air in the spare. That's what this is. This is big, the big mobile office, and then we have little, which is our four-wheel drive Winnebago era that is just 24 feet long, and that's kind of our driver now. So how do we do this? I started off with freelance copywriting from an RV. That's how I began. And boy, it's been quite a journey as far as the technology, the upgrades, what we have now compared to what we had then. As far as internet, no comparison. We used to have satellite internet. My husband literally had to take it out and aim it and get the coordinates so that we could pick up the satellite signal. We had big satellites on our roof, kind of like you see on the news vans when they go out on location. We had great big giant satellite for picking up internet. Now we just use mobile devices, and it works very, very well. A lot of parks have Wi-Fi, but not always so reliable. So we actually have two different types of mobile devices we use for internet when we're on the road. And as you can see, full-size computer. I don't cut any corners. And that purple thing, that's a dog crate. I had to have purple, you know. It was kind of hard to find. It was like custom made for us. But that's for our smaller dog, who's still kind of young. And so if we're leaving the dogs for any period of time, she stays in her crate while we travel or while we're in a different location, if we're not home with her. We have air conditioning, we have solar, like I said, we have an infrared fireplace that actually helps heat as well. We have heated floors with zones so I can turn the heat on in different rooms. So that's just a few of the things. But how does it work? You can absolutely do this full-time. We've been full-time, we've been part-time, we lived in Mexico for 2 years, and this is very much a part of our lifestyle. And I could not do this without having a freelance gig, right? And so Angelina mentions a couple of different things like blogging and content writing, that type of thing. But I'm just going to tell you right now, Angelina and anyone else that's interested in doing this, the number one way, the skill you could learn the fastest, that's the most in demand, and it can pay the best, is freelance copywriting. That's how I began. And freelance copywriting can be done from anywhere. I have never, ever kept it a secret from my clients that this is my lifestyle. This is how we travel. This is where I work from a lot of the time. I can do my Zoom calls from here. I can write my copy from here. We have a printer, a wireless printer. I can print out anything I need to do. No, there's no hindrance whatsoever to being able to work with your clients. Did the same in Mexico. I was living in central Mexico. We lived in San Miguel de Allende for 2 years. Maintained a home, maintained a mobile office in the United States, and we didn't take the mobile office down there, but we'd go back and forth. And when we wanted to come up here, we'd travel in the mobile office. And so I'm a diehard fan of the mobile lifestyle. I can't imagine traveling any other way. That's why we have the small right now, because that's pretty much become our driver for just around town. If we have to run to Phoenix for a couple-hour drive, want to just go out overnight or for a quick trip, that's how we go. We take our dogs to the vet, set out curbside while the dogs are going in. I mean, we use it for everything now. As far as I drive it more than I drive the Jeep right now. And this is sitting here ready to go again. We're thinking now as the weather's starting to cool off, we'll probably start doing some short trips in it. And I'm looking forward to doing some kind of on-location Facebook Lives for you and showing you what it's like to be out at Moab or some beautiful other place like Zion, or any of those places. Moab's only 600 miles from here. See, for me, that's just a short drive, okay? I'm kind of known for my ability to drive copious amounts of miles. This is sort of a funny thing to me because there's a lot of RV bloggers that talk about, oh, we never drive more than 200 miles in a day, and then we have to rest, and we have to recover for 2 days, and if we drive for a day, we need to stop for a day, and it's kind of like, really? You know, because I can drive this thing cross-country in 5 days. Is it tiring? Yeah. But there's kind of a almost what I call like a zen to the driving when I'm out in those open spaces and the road's just unfurling before me. A lot of times we travel quietly while we're doing that because I literally get downloads, like spiritual downloads, guidance, tapping into other aspects of wisdom. And I think it's part of it is that the aspect of driving and just rolling along, and it frees up my mind and my spirit to take in information in a different way while we're doing that. And I've gotten some amazing downloads of inspiration while I was driving this thing. And so I actually enjoy the process of the drive. So Angelina, what I recommend for you if you were interested in this lifestyle, look into freelance copywriting. Now, I have a program for that. Just so happens I have a free workshop at authentic-copy.com, authentic-copy.com. It's a free workshop, tells you all about what you can expect as an entry-level person into the world of freelance copywriting. Now, someone today on one of my posts online, they said, why am I seeing so many things about copywriting? Why should we become a copywriter? I said, well, because it's the most in-demand marketing skill. It's the most valuable marketing skill, in my opinion, because it's the foundation for everything, anything anyone wants to do online or offline for that matter. The aspect of having that copy, the marketing strategies, the words that actually sell what you have, the words that promote what you have, the words that attract your audience, the videos that you see, the webinars that you listen to, the emails that you get, the websites that you see, the things that come in your mailbox, and ads on television, all of those things are supported by copywriting. Someone has to write all of those words. Someone has to write all the strategies out in a way that people can understand and relate to. That's what copywriters do. Now, I'm not talking about working for an agency. That's a whole different deal. Because if you work for an agency, that's when you're going to get the, how many years experience do you have? Do you have a degree? How many millions of years have you been doing this? And none of that is a factor at all when you're a freelance copywriter. Now, as many of you may have heard, and maybe this is new for you, Angelina, but I didn't start till I was past 50. So when you tell me that you're 52 and you're nervous, I'm like, no big deal. You're still young, okay? You're still young enough. And I have students all across the spectrum. My youngest student has been 19 and my oldest has been 90 because people still want to learn. They can take one aspect of freelance copywriting and do something with it and start supplementing their income. They can make a large income. They can make a smaller, more modest one. You can do it on the side as a hustle, so to speak. I recommend that you fully embrace freelance copywriting as the way you're going to create revenue for yourself, as the job that you give yourself, as the pay raises you give yourself, and the location you give yourself, and the clients you choose to work with. So you can work on your own terms, from where you want, when you want, how you want, how many hours a week you want. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. With freelance copywriting, you truly can work part-time and have the ability to make more than you may have made working full-time in a traditional job. I see it all the time with my students. Certainly has been the case for me. I had never made the kind of revenue I was able to make until I became a freelance copywriter. It was life-changing for my family, for me personally, for those I serve, for my clients, for my students now. It's life-changing. Every single week, someone shares a story about how this has changed their life. And it doesn't have to take very long. I have students that have been in my program for 4 or 5 weeks that already are getting clients, paid clients, or they're starting a membership. We have Tina Spangler, who's Barrel Racer, and she has created a membership that has at least 30 people. Last time I heard, she has at least 30 people in a paid membership coaching them on barrel racing online. She got that concept and the whole idea sprang to life for her after I had one conversation with her and she came into my program. Now, and she has clients. She's already writing copy for clients. We have Susie, who took a one-page strategy that I teach in Authentic Copy and turned that into a high 4-figure retainer every single month, taking that one concept, and she's working for a television show. There's no limit to what the niche markets can be for this. And so Angelina says, well, how do I take what I've been doing? Listen, Angelina, if you've been wrangling little kids for 30 whatever years you told me, you can manage clients and you bring a very robust skill set to this process because you had to be creative, you've had to be quick on your feet, you had to think fast, you had to be able to delegate, you had to be able to assert leadership. All of these things, these experiences all come together for what you do as a freelance copywriter. I have yet to find a single student in my program that doesn't have some amazing story or incredible experience or very pertinent, aligned experience with what they want to do now that they bring together into becoming a freelance copywriter. When you position yourself smartly, which is of course what I teach, when you position yourself from a perimeter of power around your business, you have a foundation of strength with how you run that business and how you connect with your clients. You're not going to get asked, how long you've been doing this? Do you have a degree? These things don't even happen when you have the right kind of conversations with your clients. These are all things that I teach in my programs. I do the entry level in authentic copy, teaches you 3 essential elements of copywriting that can get you started and get you started quickly. And so I'll tell you all about them on my free workshop. So if you're interested, just find me at authentic-copy.com. It's free. You can register for the workshop and you'll learn about what you could expect as entry level pay, what kind of fees you can charge. Now look, I've been online since 2004. I've been doing this for a long time. And so I have a tremendous wealth of experience with clients that have made millions of dollars. My copy has brought in literally multiple millions of dollars. And so I know what I'm talking about. And so I also understand what those entry-level fees really are and how you put that together so that you can make anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month. That's the goal for really getting started. A lot of students say, oh, if I could just make even a couple of $1,000s a month, what would that do for you? How would that change your life? To have an extra $1,000 a month, an extra $2,000 a month, to know, because one of the things Angelina said is saving for retirement. Well, the thing is, when you do this, it's like you're constantly creating that revenue, and age is not a barrier. You can do this for as long as you are functional and able to think and communicate with your clients and keyboard, and all of these things, and just learn the process. As long as you can do that, you can continue to do this. I remember when I first was getting started, and I said to my husband one day, I can't even imagine making how a person would even make less than $10,000 a month at this unless they just quit, right? Because I was able to get to that level fairly quickly in the earlier years of my copywriting, and then it just grew from there. So, and not everyone has that much, that big of a requirement, right? You can work. That's the thing. You get to decide. You decide what works for you. You decide what number you want to aim at. You decide what your fees are. You decide what projects you want to take. And it doesn't take years to learn. I have students starting in 4 or 5 weeks. Just 4 or 5 weeks in the program, they already have paid clients. So Angelina, there's a way to do this from a mobile office, just like this. It can be the most humble mobile office. That's what I started in. It was an older fifth wheel with a Dodge pickup. And I think I started off working at a dinette table. I'm trying to remember. I think then we tore it out, and I think we bought a desk and installed it in the corner. We've had everything's customized in here now, but we just did, like an IKEA desk or something like that, where my husband bolted it to the floor, and it became my, quote, office. And we gave up the dinette so that I had a place to work, because that was what was feeding us. So we didn't need a dinette, needed a place for me to work. As far as the lifestyle, a lot of people really want to travel now this way. A lot of people don't want to get on a plane. A lot of people don't want to stay in a hotel. A lot of people don't want to depend on public transportation. To me, this is the absolute ideal. We've been doing this. My husband and I have had a mobile lifestyle for almost our entire marriage. I would say probably 23 or 24 years we've been doing the mobile lifestyle. Cannot imagine giving it up. And right from the beginning, we figured out ways to make some money. There's things you can do as an RVer that they don't pay really well. And I had to learn. We learned as we went, and gradually, then I discovered copywriting. Didn't know what it was when I first learned about copywriting. Had no idea. Had never heard of it. Really, seriously, had never heard of it. And so if you haven't either, that's understandable. A lot of people don't. It's different than copyright. Copyright with the R is intellectual property, licensing, and legal protections. That's totally different. That's not what I'm teaching. That's not what we're doing. We are literally writing. So if you enjoy writing and you want to have the adventurous spirit, maybe this could work for you. So just without dragging the camera through here, we have, the kitchen. I've got my little office space over to the side. That's where a dinette traditionally would go, but we had a cabinet built in. It's got a pull-out tray where we can sit there with our chairs if we choose to eat, to dine there. Then we move on into the bathroom area with a house-sized shower, a separate lavatory with a sink, And from there is the bedroom with, in this one we have a queen size bed. We have extensive wardrobe. We seem to carry a lot of clothes with us. I don't know. We're going to have a washer and dryer installed in one of the cabinets back there. And there's 2 slide out rooms. The one you're seeing over on my left, might be your right while you're watching this, is called a super slide. So the whole entire wall is a slide out that's electric. So I just hit a button and out it goes to open up when we're parked. And then when we're driving it, we bring it back in. We have a 60-inch flat screen television that rises on a riser behind a fireplace that helps. It's a beautiful fireplace. It's color changing because, you know me, I got to have the colorful things going on. So it's a color changing fireplace that also helps to heat. It's infrared. It operates from a remote. We have television, satellite. We used to have both East and West networks, and the government passed a rule taking that away, which was very disappointing to a lot of our viewers because we were able to get special dispensation to have those, and so that went away. But we still have all our networks, and we have satellite television. Then we have the driving area up here with a huge array on the dashboard. Again, it's automatic, and we have air ride seats, so very comfortable. And we have, let's see, GPS, we have backup cameras, we have extra lighting on the exterior, and that's how we roll, literally. So we can take everything with us, including 3 dogs. We travel with my husband's guide dog, as well as a bordoodle and a border collie. They know exactly where to go when we get in here. They love traveling. They're used to doing it. They're very well behaved. I can do an 8-hour day or 10-hour day sometimes of driving, and they're perfectly fine. We would stop at rest areas to relieve them. We go to truck stops for our fuel because this is so big. We don't go to gas stations. And we kind of know where we're going ahead of time because it is big. This has a very long wheelbase, and not everybody's going to want to drive something this big, but yes, I really do all the driving. And this is kind of a funny thing because my husband not only has a guide dog, but he also has a blind cane. So one way or the other, he's usually holding on to one of those if we're outside. And we've literally been standing next to this before with the guide dog in hand, in harness, and someone will come up and look at him, look at it, look at me, and say, "So who drives it?" You know, this is another little mindset thing because there's so many people that draw certain conclusions of, well, it can't possibly be the wife, right? Couldn't possibly be this lady with the purple hair gets in and drives this thing. And my husband is endlessly entertained. He has very, very low vision. He's legally blind, but he's endlessly entertained by when we pulled into RV parks in the past. This has been, years we've been doing this, where there'll be a couple of guys will stand like arms folded, watching somewhat skeptically, and then with curiosity, and then with respect when they see me park this thing. And I got to say, I love it too. You get lots of respect from truck drivers on the road because they treat us, me as one of them, someone that can drive a big rig. And yeah, I'm proud of it. I love knowing that I can do it. I love that I push the boundaries of what's expected for me, for someone seeing me or what I do and think, well, can you do that? And yeah. And see, that's the thing. If you believe that you can achieve and you have your mindset in place, right? And you're tapping into that divine power that gives you those opportunities and helps you see with wisdom and a more profound understanding of what you're capable of, you'd be amazed what you can accomplish. Before I drove something like this, the biggest thing I'd ever driven was a minivan. The soccer mom minivan. That was the biggest thing I'd ever driven. My husband, who has been legally blind since the day we met, has taught me how to do this. He used to drive big trucks. He used to drive big rigs. He understands, he has in his mind's eye, he still understands the spatial relations and what needs to happen and how to do it. And he taught me how to drive these big rigs. So I might be one of the only, I would say maybe the only woman in the United States who's had a blind driving instructor. Just might be. So what do you think you're capable of? If I can do these things coming from on my own at 17, no college, no degree, no special advantages whatsoever, I can assure you, homeless in my 40s, had to start completely over again, was stalked for 2 years, nearly murdered by this individual, until I met Ron, my husband, and the one I was meant to be with, right? I didn't know I could do any of these things. I didn't. And so later in life, so that my other little mantra is, it's never too late. It really is never too late for you. So there, Angelina, I hope this answers your questions today. I hope this might inspire someone else to think, what can I do right now? Because now more than ever, with what's going on in the world, And if you're wondering, is freelance copywriting still a thing that people want? Yes, there's an increased demand for it. I have students in my program right now in the middle of a pandemic who have done things like make $50,000 selling something online, have their first multiple $1,000 project, have retainer clients. That one of my students, Piper, went from an $1,800 a month income to $9,000. Last time we checked in, $9,000 a month part-time on retainer for her clients. And that happened just in the last month or two, right smack dab in the middle of a pandemic. Because clients need this service more than ever. They need their businesses to be promoted. They need to pivot in their business. All of those things take new strategies and new elements of copy. And when I teach copywriting, it's not just here's how to write a headline. It's how to tap into that spiritual guidance. It's how to really make the shift you need to make in how you're thinking, the brain science about intentional thinking mindset, and how you speak to the client and how you attract your ideal clients. And rather quickly, it can happen rather quickly if you're willing to do the work. I would never say this is some kind of an automatic thing by osmosis, you know, you're in a program and suddenly you're successful. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to do the work. You have to show up. You have to be willing to make the commitment to yourself first. You're your first client. Make that commitment to yourself. Decide, make a decision that you can change your life right now. Nothing else has to dictate whether you can or not. You get to. And that's what you do when you build your business as a freelance copywriter. Now, I said I had an idea after getting this question from Angelina, and I get questions on a regular basis, and I thought, why not have some fun with this? So, if you'd like me to answer a question about mindset, about the spiritual connection in your business, about copywriting, about how we do this on the road thing with an RV, the RV lifestyle and working on the road and being an independent contractor, any of those things. Some people even ask me what color I put on my hair. You can ask me that if you want. All you have to do is send a note to me at ask Tina, A-S-K, Tina, at tinalorenz.com. So if you'd like to get a question answered that could end up on my podcast and on my Facebook Lives, just send it in, ask Tina at tinalorenz.com. I'll do my best to answer it. I will address you by first name. I won't tell if you have really intimate details. Like Angelina had a couple just about her life, which I appreciate, Angelina, but I didn't share them with the public. So I'll just share the parts that are pertinent to a lot of people. It would answer the question for many. But if you've got a few years on you, you know, you're not a 20-year-old anymore. We all have a story. We've all been through things in life. We've all had our challenges. So here's what I want to leave you with today. What it really comes down to is a decision. You get to choose whether those things stop you, keep you stuck, keep you mired down in the same old stories you've always been telling yourself or have been told to you through your whole entire life, or you make a decision to break free of those shackles that might be holding you back, to change that story, to change how you think, to learn a new skill, and to embrace it fully and commit to yourself, to your own success. You will be amazed what happens when you do that. Until next time, I hope to hear from you and answer your question. This is Tina Lorenz. Have a great, safe day. Stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and stay really committed to what you can do in your life. And I'll talk to you again soon, okay? Thanks for being here today.